Hi readers! Today we're going to read Spaghetti in a Hot Dog Bun, Having the Courage to Be Who You Are. And this is written by Maria Dismondy. This is a great mentor text to also go back with or while you're reading it to teach inferencing, theme, context clues, and figurative language. The delicious smell of breakfast filled the air as Lucy's grandpa handed her plate. Lucy smeared ketchup on her toast. I used to go to school with a girl in second grade. Her name was Carly, and she put ketchup on everything, even ice cream. She turned to her grandpa and said, "Papa Gino, Harriet said she's never heard of ketchup on toast. Her family uses butter and jelly." "It's okay. Not everyone likes the same thing, Lucy. It doesn't mean one person is right or wrong. We're all different. What a boring life it would be if we all were exactly alike." "Do you remember what's really important?" Papa Gino asked. "Yes, Papa. Even if we are different from others on the outside, we all have a heart with feelings on the inside." I'm going to read that line one more time. I love that line. Even if we are different from others on the outside, we all have a heart with feelings on the inside. Love that line. "That's my girl. Remember, when you treat others with love and kindness, you are doing the right thing," Papa Gino replied. On the school bus, Lucy and her friend Harriet pulled out some paper and crayons. Sitting across from them was Ralph. As usual, Ralph sat alone, staring out the window. He looked over at them and he rolled his eyes. In the classroom, Lucy sat down near the teacher. Ralph carelessly hurried over and tripped on Lucy's foot. Before long, he was glaring at her. Ralph whispered, "Woof, I can't see the book with this poodle in front of me." Lucy could hear giggling behind her. "Oh no, why did it have to be me?" she wondered. He's making fun of her hair. I personally love her hair. During lunch, Harriet shouted one of her silly jokes over the other children's voices. As the girls ate, their bellies shook with laughter. Across the table, Ralph hollered, "Yuck! That's the disgusting smell. Who ever heard of eating spaghetti in a hot dog bun?" By the way, I have to admit, after reading this book, I tried spaghetti in a hot dog bun, and it is delicious, especially if you put a little melted cheese on top. So good. Tony and the other children at the table turned away from Ralph, shaking their heads. Ralph continued, "Poor little Lucy with her hair so poofy." Tears filled Lucy's eyes, and she began to cry. On the way home, Lucy thought about what had happened. Maybe Ralph is mean to me because he thinks being different is bad. I wish he could stop teasing me. Slowly, Lucy stepped off the bus. "How was your day?" Papa Gino asked. "Fine," she mumbled. Papa reached over and pulled a crayon out of her hair. "How did this happen?" he asked. Lucy didn't say a word. That night, as Papa Gino tucked Lucy into bed, he asked, "Is everything all right at school?" Lucy rolled over. He sat down and whispered, "Always remember, if something's not right, we can work on fixing it together." That's what I always tell my son, too. It's not that easy, thought Lucy. How do I stop Ralph from teasing me? How can he have a heart and be so mean? Lucy had a hard time falling asleep, worrying about what would happen tomorrow. The following day, Lucy was surprised to find Ralph leaving her alone. Until Lucy took the bag Ralph handed her. Inside were dog bones with a note that read, "Lucy, Lucy eats stinky food that puts us in a big bad mood. Lucy, her hair shaped like a cone. Here's a treat for you, a yummy dog bone." The beating of Lucy's heart was so loud she knew everyone around her could hear it. "Stop! It hurts my feelings when you say this, Ralph." Lucy said, "Please stop." And Ralph turned and walked away. And that is a great technique to use if somebody's doing or saying something you don't like, is to first say, "Stop, I don't like that." Use your words and tell them. It was recess time, and Lucy played alone. She didn't want to tell her teacher about Ralph. She was afraid of being a tattletale. Lucy wished Papa Gino was there to help. What should I do? She asked herself over and over. The bell rang as recess ended. Help! Cried a child off in the distance. Tony yelled, Ralph got himself stuck at the top of the monkey bars. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Might be funny to him, but I bet Ralph's kind of scared. This is my chance. I'll go tell Ralph how mean he really is. M-E-A-N, mean. And Lucy stomped off toward the monkey bars. When she reached Ralph, Lucy paused. She looked him in the eye and said, What you did was so mean. Standing before Ralph, though, Lucy could hear her papa's words. Ralph did have a heart with feelings. So, in that moment, Lucy decided what she would do. She saw tears in Ralph's eyes. He hesitated to move and whispered, I'm scared. Lucy reached out and said, Here, take my hand, and she helped him down. The two walked back to the classroom without saying a word. As the bus pulled up to Lucy's stop, Ralph reached over and handed her a picture. Lucy was amazed at what it was. Thanks, she muttered softly. It was to Lucy, and she drew him a nice dinosaur. After she got off the bus, Lucy smiled and said, Papa, there's this boy Ralph who is really mean to me, and today he was in trouble and I helped him. Sometimes when people are mean, it's because other people have been mean to them, so they haven't learned how to be nice. Now he learned how to be nice and how good it feels from Lucy, so he did something nice. Papa Gino hugged Lucy and replied, That took a lot of courage. It wasn't the easiest thing to do. You chose to treat others the way you want to be treated, and I'm so proud of you, Lucy. As they walked home, she asked him what was for dinner. When Papa Gino said spaghetti, Lucy knew immediately what she would have for lunch the next day. Can you predict? Doesn't tell you, but I bet you can predict. Spaghetti and a hot dog bun. Try it sometime if you're daring. It's really yummy.